Moving up and down again, there's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war.
Alright, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shepherd's Pie. I'm David.
And I'm Tommy.
We're, another bit of fucking rant cast coming at you.
Yeah, we just had the holidays. We just had a nice little break, you know. You guys won't notice it, but to us, we noticed it.
We actually took a week off, so it's been a little bit since we've recorded. We're gonna just jump through a few topics here, kind of wrap up some news, instead of like hitting one full-fledged topic. We're just gonna bounce around a few different things.
Yeah. Like the fact that it's 2026 now, and there's only been 2 times in recorded United States history when the ball has dropped not on New Year's. And we're going to have another ball drop the 4th of July.
Really?
With the American flag on it, yes.
I didn't hear about
To
that.
symbolize the 250th year of the United States birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing really cool about that. It's just a factoid that I somehow remembered on the spot.
This will
But,
be, I think,
what?
30 years of Pokemon this year.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. I have been kind of getting back into Pokemon, but I would be I don't know if I'd be a millionaire. I doubt it highly, but I would definitely
I'd be able
like
to pay off my house.
multi-thousand-a. Yeah, dude, literally, same here. I'd be able to buy a house. I'd be able to buy some land, maybe a nice car, something, dude.
Yeah.
But I had to be a dumbass and sell
look at
one
this.
neighbor boy.
I had every single one of these. These were the Pokeball
Yeah.
with the gold card. They just started
Yeah.
grading those on PSA. They're selling for like tens of thousands. I had them. I had them all. They were in great condition. Nope.
Dude.
Gone. I had all the
I had
cards
a
gone.
binder, a badass binder. My pops, he would get me packs, like after work, you know, when I was a good kid, you know, or like whenever he go out of town because he was learning some shit for his job. Whenever he'd leave and he'd come back, you know, on Fridays, payday or whatever, he'd get me a pack or 2 of Pokemon cards, and I had so many of them, and then my uncle gets me a binder and like sleeves. I remember how hard it was to find that stuff back then, but we had to go to like a shop in like a city that was like 40 miles from my house, you know, and like that, then I was able to find them, and I did it, and I had a binder, and it was pretty cool. And then I got older and I stopped collecting them and stopped caring, and they were taking up space. And then this neighbor boy kid that man, you know what? If old me now had
We're going to track him down. We're going to find this kid.
No, they're gone from him now too. He don't have them, you know. Like those
If
things
you
are
are
gone.
this kid that we're talking about, we want you to message
He knows
us.
who he is.
You know who you are. You better contact us. Give us what you
And
owe
say you're
us.
sorry. Say you're sorry at least.
You better at
Because,
least be
man,
a fucking millionaire.
I sold my binder, which today, if I had to guess, just like ballpark, you know, because there were a bunch of cards that obviously weren't like super great, but they were all like literally like first gen from the first packs.
No, that's
you know
the
what
thing.
I mean.
The first gen from
They
the
were
first.
all
like,
original.
yeah.
And
So-
in a binder, you know, like they were being
Yeah.
kept well.
Yeah.
And I sold my whole binder for, I think it was $40, either 40 or 20. You know,
Yeah.
because at the time when I was a kid, you know, like that's a lot of money, dude. And I was done with them, you know, and I never thought that they were gonna be anything. I was like, whatever, you know, screw it, $40,
Yeah, you
cool.
don't know
And
anymore.
it felt like something kind of cool because you know I was young and being able to sell something I had for money, so I could go out and I don't know buy candy or some
Right.
shit. I don't even know what I bought with it. That's what's even more disappointing. It didn't go towards anything good, you know. And then freaking today's worth, that same shit would probably be at least like 20 grand at least. And
Yeah.
I mean
Easy.
bare minimum.
No, that's
Ceiling is
that's
more
easy.
like
100K,
100.
200K.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because dude, if
Oh
you
yeah.
if you had a Charizard bank,
I had a
There
I had
is.
a dark Charizard.
nah, that wasn't as much.
Dark Charizard, but like of the first
Yeah.
line
Yeah, the
that
Team
ever
Rocket.
came out.
It was like it
Yeah.
was the second line actually. The second line to come out had the dark.
Dude.
I'm not gonna nerd it up here. My problem was I had all of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a shoebox, just strewn about, a big fucking mess. And then I had all my Pokemon cards in binder sleeves, in a binder, all sleeved out, all perfect, all nice and organized. Had them in storage at my dad's attic, and I go back years later to dig them up. I'm like, yep, this is gonna be worth money. All my Yu-Gi-Oh cards are in perfect condition. All my Pokemon cards are molded and destroyed. Yeah,
That's terrible.
yeah. And then
That's awful.
I had like one first edition holographic promotion. It was a promo Machoke, so it was in its own sleeve. And
Yeah.
I realize now those aren't super worth a lot of money, maybe like $120. But
That's still money, bro, for
Yeah.
like one card,
Yeah.
you know, like
I was sitting on
what the
I was sitting on two of them, and like an idiot, I like put them in a lockbox and then put them in my glove box, and they were sitting here and sitting there, and then the plastic got ripped open, and there was a bunch of dirt in them, and they were just ruined.
sadness, bro. Sadness. I wish that and now it's coming down to so this Christmas I got my niece some Pokemon cards.
Bro, I got your niece Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, honestly, you should just keep them for the
Nah.
daughter, you
Nah.
know? Like come on, man. I mean, sure, I'll take them, you know? Like who doesn't want a shiny freaking Charmander? Like that's sweet. That's sweet. But yeah, I got her some cards, dude, and we opened them up finally. She was sick. She was sick for Christmas, and that was not cool. That sucks.
Yeah.
Makes me sad. But finally, she started feeling better, and she came around and opened up packs and put them in. Dude, it was like a full circle moment.
Right.
I'm getting old, and it's awesome and terrifying at the same
That's
time.
weird.
It's so crazy, bro, because that's the same thing my uncle did for me. Mm-hmm. You know, like my uncle and my dad. And she comes over and she has cards already. She brought her cards over. She had a bunch of them. But I got her the binder. I'm her uncle. My uncle did the same thing for me, and her dad did the same thing my dad did for me. Like, dude, crazy full circle moment. That was just like insane, insane. But I definitely told her, I'm like, listen here, little one. All right, like these are an investment. She's literally like 5 years old,
Right.
and I'm like trying to teach her like keep these things safe. You know, because someday you could get a car. Maybe not. Maybe they're worthless, but who knows? Keep them well because I got rid of mine and I could have been a thousandaire.
A thousandaire.
A thousandaire. But no, I had to squander my potential.
Well, we didn't intend to get off on a tangent about Pokemon, but we did want to wish everybody Merry Christmas. Hope you guys all had a good holiday.
Happy belated.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. I do want to mention on the topic of Christmas, we do plan on doing like a Christmas episode this year around Christmas time. But I want to just mention now, since it is slightly after the fact, can we get back to celebrating Christmas for the reason that we are meant to celebrate Christmas, which is the birth of Jesus Christ? Now,
Yeah.
I understand that, like, we might have a disagreement that, like, maybe Christmas, December 25th, was not actually the day that Jesus was born. That's fine. The idea is that children need a foundation of understanding. And what we're teaching our children is Santa Claus and gift giving.
Yeah.
And to amend that, we're saying, no, it's not about the gift giving. It's not about Santa Claus. It's about spending time with family and being close. And nope, it's not about that either, actually. It's about Jesus Christ. Christmas. Christmas. We're celebrating Christ.
Yep.
And I spent a holiday with a little bit of family, and I was trying to talk about it with my nephews. And luckily they got it, but it took a second. It's like, do you know what Christmas is about? And they're like thinking about it. I knew he was gonna, like, he's thinking presents, and he's like spending time with family. And I'm like, nope, actually, like, that's a really nice sentiment, but it's not about spending time with family. It's about Jesus Christ's birthday. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember. So I just want to stress to everybody, can we remind the little ones, make sure that we're teaching the little ones the history, the importance of our faith in Christ.
Not just the little ones. Everybody.
Yeah,
your
everybody.
whole family. So, dude, it's kind of crazy you bring this up, because I don't know if I don't know if I told you. I think I might have, or someone else. I told someone this thing. So, my family now, for like Thanksgiving or any of like our family gatherings where we have dinner, we've always said the Lord's Prayer before we eat dinner.
Yeah.
And that's always usually been headed up by, like, one of the older members of the family, and like one of the founders, if you will.
I started having to do grace at my dad's side of the family.
Yeah.
The last like 3 or 4 times they're making me do it.
Yes. And now I have become that person. And they appointed me, and you want to know what's hilarious? They appointed me that because I became because I married you guys, you and your wife.
Oh.
So I told people about that, and so they
to those who don't know, Tommy ordained my wedding.
Yeah.
And it was only a temporary thing, but
yeah. But it was a thing, you know. It was a thing, and it was hilarious. And I told people and my family and stuff, and so they took the liberty of assigning grace giver, and the guy to do that to me,
to minister Tommy.
yes, and I was like, oh man, come on, But so like for the past few now, I've been doing that, and after doing all the podcast and everything, and this, the 2025 was a year for me where I kind of, I started falling into faith a little, not a little bit, a lot more than probably I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people have.
We got to Christmas, and it came to me having to do grace. And the only thing that I could think of and that I want and that I did was, I was like, thank you all for coming here type deal. I was like, thank you all for coming here. It's Christmas time, and we know what that is. It's the birth of Jesus. Everything that you said, I literally went into. I said, it's the birth of Jesus, and it's nice that we have our family here. It's nice that we have a feast in front of us. It's nice that we've gotten presents. But I would just like to, remind everybody that this is the day Jesus was born, and that's pretty awesome too. And then I said the Lord's Prayer. And so I kept it short, and I made it about Jesus. And I made sure to let them know that it's nice that, yeah, we got family and we got all this stuff, but let's remember this guy for a minute, because he was pretty awesome. Yeah. And it was pretty cool, And
go ahead.
I've got people in my family that, like, so all of us do this Lord's Prayer, but a lot of people don't practice. They probably don't even buy into it.
Right.
Like, why are you even saying the
Lord's Prayer? They don't even understand the prayer.
And like, I'm not exempt, because I was doing that for a long time too.
Right.
And just like, if I'm gonna be if you guys are putting me in this position, then I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. Which is what I feel called to do, which is to kind of bring that awareness and see if there's anybody who, responds well to it, and then kind of help them through it, Even though I'm not the best of shepherds per
Right.
se, but I'll take that on if I have to and learn along the way and try to bring people. But if it's my family, of course, like
It's nice when it's
I'm
your
gonna go to
family
bat
because
for
it's
my
a comfortable
family.
place where you can essentially like practice
Yeah,
that.
and they're not gonna hate you,
Yeah.
or even if they do, they're still gonna be there next year, so you get to
Right.
try again. Like
Right.
it's a thing.
So
Yeah.
my uncle on Thanksgiving, I was doing the prayer, and ahead of time, my uncle is like, if you want to read this poem that I put together about Thanksgiving, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, that's a really nice poem, but it doesn't mention God at all. And I want to pray to God. I don't want to read a poem before dinner.
You could have read the poem and then just been like, and I'd also like to put in
Yeah,
a few
no,
words for
that's
God,
that's what we
like
that's
that's
what
what I
we
would.
did. I had somebody else read the poem, and then I said the prayer. But on the note that, like, Christmas is about Jesus, for our Christmas episode, we're not going to be talking too much about Jesus. We're going to be talking about all the bullshit surrounding Christmas. So just
Yeah, what
uh,
it's become, like the
yeah,
dark husk that it is now, and
yeah,
where that originates,
just as a
and
teaser, look up on your own time. We're not going to talk about it too much right now. Look up the origin of Santa Claus, how Coca-Cola created Santa Claus. Look up the origins and the stories about St. Nicholas, and look up Krampus, and understand that those three things mostly make up our Christmas that we celebrate today, and how fucked up and demonic those things are. And then there's other pagan traditions that are roped in too, because the Catholic Church was trying to include all these pagans into their Christian celebration. They wanted to indoctrinate everybody, so they took traditions from everything and slapped it all into this one holiday. And it's really fucked that we all practice it, because if it's supposed to be this, like, we're treating it, or like talking about it like it's a divine holiday, it's Jesus' birthday, but then we practice all this weird shit from other religions and faiths that don't make any sense for us to be
I just want it
practicing.
to be well known that this year was the first year ever in my life that I didn't put a Christmas tree up,
Nice.
like
See,
at all, and I didn't feel sad about that at all. I know my mom probably did, just because there wasn't a lot of holiday cheer going on around here. But I felt really good about it because I didn't have a Osiris's
right?
phallus standing
Yeah,
up in my
the
living room.
the Yule log.
Yeah, and yeah,
I
so I
had
felt kind of good about that.
I had a grandmother pass on my dad's side, and my wife had a grandmother pass as well, and we inherited a ceramic Christmas tree and
Yeah,
a plastic Christmas tree from each of them, like one each. So now we've got two Christmas trees in the house that we're like, oh, we gotta put it up because it's like sentimental.
I mean it is kind of cool, because those Christmas trees were actually kind of dope. I remember that like my family, like we had one too. Like my mom got it out of some like magazine or something,
Yeah.
like back in the day, the mail order freaking products that you'd get out of magazines and shit.
Right. So there's these things that like
They are kind
people
of
are
cool.
attached to because they have this like sentimental value, or you did it when you were
Yeah,
a kid, so you want your kid to have a similar experience. Oh, don't
yeah,
keep Santa Claus from them because that would be mean, because all these other kids are experiencing Santa Claus, and do you want to deprive your child? Remember when you were a kid, didn't you have so much fun? These things, it's a valid argument. I understand.
yeah,
If you need to continue to practice the things for the well-being, for the proper upbringing of your children, by all means, go ahead. Just
yeah,
just
yeah,
do so with the knowledge that sometimes they're fucked up, sometimes they're infiltrated by evil. Sometimes you need to remember consciously that it's about
yes,
God and not all this
yeah,
other shit. Like it takes actively working on, because everything is so deceptive and manipulating and enticing and overwhelming that you forget that we're supposed to be connecting with God, like
yep,
24/7, but more so on these holidays,
yep.
because like
Yeah, I like that.
God set out holidays for us, and we don't observe God's holidays. We've made up our own holidays, which I think is blasphemous in and of itself. So on our crazy made up man-made holidays, we should at least be trying to connect with God a little bit more.
Yeah. See, I like the way that you frame that, you know, because it's not. I don't want to like shame people, you know, that are trying
Right.
to have holiday cheer in the
Right.
ways that they know, you know.
Like I'm just trying my
It's
best,
kind of,
and I
yeah,
fail
yeah,
all the time to do what
yeah.
I would view as like the epitome of like what I'm setting out to achieve. Like I'm falling short of that.
Oh yeah, and I think that's honestly, dude. I think that's kind of like
The
that's
crux
the
of
thing.
humanity. That's the crux of
It's the
humanity.
thing. I don't know if it's a weakness. I think it's actually a strength. You know, that like we get these ideals of like a thing that we could be or a thing that we should do or you know, just something that's better, you know, and we work towards it. Like we fall short of it, and the fact that we notice we fall short of it, we can turn that into something negative, you know, where it becomes kind of like a mental disease, you know, where it can kind of stunt you or like it just makes you feel shitty about yourself. But ultimately, the reason behind that mechanism is growth. You know, it's a mechanism for growth spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like the way that you said that too with the Christmas thing, like that's exactly how we should be going about this. You know, like not everybody's perfect. We don't come from lines of people who don't recognize Christmas like that. You know, like there's people that are still in the thick of you know this indoctrination. You know,
Right. So, like,
of
what I was
of
thinking the whole
things.
time is I mentioned in a previous episode about how I'm a little heated about this, like, big vacation my family's going on in the spring. One, because my family's never been able to do anything like this. We weren't
Yeah,
ever like the Disney family, you know, we didn't go on big vacations. We maybe did, like, I remember doing Six Flags maybe once or twice as a kid. And that's like a water park in around here. And, like, it was because I went with a friend's family. And, you know, like, so now everybody's planning on going to Universal Orlando in the spring. And I'm throwing a little fit because it's a whole lot of money that everybody could be put into a better use. And the sister's argument is, well, this is an experience for the children. They love Mario. They just built this Mario land out there. You know, it would be a one-time thing. It would be great for them. Like, we can swing it if we all chip in together. Like, all these arguments. And at first I'm like, no, fuck you, don't do it. Like, I'm so
yeah,
adamantly against it. But I think, you know, a better stance would be, okay, let's do it. Let's the entire time be teaching these kids and reminding ourselves, one, how blessed we are to be able to do this.
yeah,
Two, how other people can't, and we should, like, pray for them and do what
and
we
have
can
fun.
to help other people and, yeah, and have fun for those people, essentially. And then also that, like, normally we can't do this, and maybe normally we shouldn't do this, and this is kind of a frivolous thing, and there are better things we could do with our money, and, like, explain to children the value of things, and, you know, show them what it costs to do something like that, and maybe teach them how to equate it to something else, you know, and let them in their future make that decision a different way. I don't know. The Chris,
Yeah, it's a fine line with this type of stuff, you know. It
yeah.
truly is.
My
It's a
just
fine line.
my idea in general is, like, we're not going to make a huge impact right now in our generation. I think what really needs to happen is, like, a cultural shift, and we're starting to see it. Like,
Yeah.
our parents did better than their parents, and I think some of us, are doing better than our parents. You still have a huge slew of people that are just NPC in it. They're ruining their children. They're creating
Yeah.
the slaves of the future. Like, we see
Yep.
that, you know. But at the same time, you also see a rise in the quality of parents. You see
Yeah.
a rise in the output of the potential in children. And with that, I think that, like, that's the solution, is like a cultural change over time where we're just producing better and better people that have a better idea of what humanity and what the future should look like. And, you know, it's not going to happen all in one generation. All it could like, the only way it could happen is over generations. So we got to, like, instill these things in our children in a way that they're going to be able to instill it in a stronger way in their children, and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. And, like, that's where this biblical stuff comes back to, because it's like you and your family are going to prosper like the sand. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, if that only works if you instill great values in your children, if you and your clan all have the same great values, once the values start getting muddied and everybody believes different shit and the people in power can just do whatever they want because nobody is banding together about what they believe, that's where we're at. Everybody just believes different shit. Nobody can rally together for what actually matters. And the people in charge are just allowed to do whatever they want because nobody cares for anything anymore except for themselves.
Yep. It goes back to family units, it does. Yeah. It truly does. It goes back to having strong, fairly centralized family units.
Right.
And how those are actually a threat. They are a threat, and there's a reason that they've been attacked. I think it kind of goes into saying too, with just like I don't know, you want to teach your kids 100%. You want to teach your kids about the world. You want to teach them about the good in things. You want to teach them about the bad in things, and you want to try to give them the best shot possible for a future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think necessarily a vacation is anything bad.
No.
I understand your desire not to, because I get that
problem
feeling.
Is I idolize money.
Stuff.
I'm idolizing money, so I see this big expenditure of money, and I'm like, no, don't spend the money. So that's my own fault for I putting money up on this pedestal where you can't ever spend it.
That was something I'm kind of surprised your sister didn't tell you, which is dude, it's just money, because you're worried about the money, and there is reason to worry about money.
Well, she did in a way.
100% right.
One of my other sisters kind of just took care of all my expenses in the matter.
Yeah. Well, see, there's she's paying it
so
forward.
Along the way of that, she was like, "Listen, it's not a thing." Fucking.
And that's what family's for, right there. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. That really is, dude. You don't get that anywhere else in the world. You don't.
Right.
And that's why I feel so bad for people that don't have families.
I know.
Because it's I would have not, dude. Are you kidding me?
I know.
The world is cruel as shit.
It's come be terrible. A part of our family.
If you don't have a family, it's you don't get to experience that. And that is and in the heat of it, especially when you're young, it's kind of can easily be taken for granted. So I understand your desires to instill what this is. What is this? It's not just fun and games. Oh yay, ha ha ha. This can happen all the time. And they're so dissociated from what caused this to happen in the first place. Us to be able to go on this trip and what it took to make it.
Right.
Now, there
you
are
don't want
concepts
them to just
for
be
children.
Kids.
Yeah. There are concepts for children that are a bit beyond them. They really are. You can definitely attempt to get them to understand things, but I think that overall it's keeping a solid structure and keeping very simple but very powerful values instilled. So we're not going to act out and be crazy out here. We're going to conduct ourselves responsibly. We're going to be around people. We're going to see people that, may be different from us. We're not going to poke at people and make fun of them, or hee ha ha laugh at people. We're going to come out here and be respectful. We're not going to cut in front of people. We're not going to, do things like this. We're going to be polite. We're going to say thank you if someone holds the door for us. We're going to do stuff like that. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun as long as we, conduct ourselves kind of, properly. Because I don't want to have to discipline anybody while I'm out here frickin' trying to have fun with you guys after dropping a dime. I just dropped a dime so that we can come out here and do this, and it could just as easily go back this way, we could just as easily turn this car around. But you got to be careful too, because you don't want to frickin' traumatize the shit out of them. You want them to have fun.
Right.
It depends on the age of the kid. If they're aware, and some kids, are more aware at a younger age. So you could potentially, disclose things like that to them, and they would be able to handle it.
Right.
And sometimes you think a kid wouldn't be able to, but they could.
Yeah, kids
you
will
just never gave them the
what
opportunity.
they can handle.
Exactly.
And you,
so it's
as
be
the
truthful.
Adult, need to be able to give them enough that they can digest. Don't overwhelm them, but give them stuff because they can handle shit. And then lead them into asking more and being curious, and don't push them to know more than they care to know, but let them come to you with their knowledge and their curiosity.
Yeah. This makes me kind of, this is one of our, first episodes, and at first when you pitched the idea to me, I was kind of like family units and stuff like that. Like as far as for like a first episode for our show and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, but why? But I didn't really fight it because I know it is a big topic, And then after we dove into it, it's like, no, this is a huge topic.
Yeah, it's going to keep coming back up.
And it is, because truly this is one of the pillars, I think, of the attack on people at large.
Yeah.
And the attack on it's just the assault from the New World Order. They got to break us up.
Like,
this is
if you were to ask me how to become successful, I would not think personally myself, how am I going to become successful? I'm going to think, how am I going to ensure that all of my lineage is successful? I'm going to try to have as many sons as I can and get them all into hopefully leading different industries. And if one son can be a manager here, and one son be a CEO here, and one son be the foreman here, and one son can do this and that, and they can all work together to do a thing cheaper than anybody else can do that thing, then
you have an empire.
Yeah. Then
Your family now has an empire.
They're going to do that for their children. They're going to do that for their children. And that's how you run the world. That's how
win.
That's how they are running the world.
Yes.
And if it's not
100%.
if it's not done with family, it's just done through a corporate entity that looks exactly like that.
Yeah, if it's not done through a family, which the family route is, because it's kind of tough to run a family without, at least something good and stable there, unless you're like some of these elite families, though, they have like MK Ultra under their sleeves, so they do it through some very deceptive, manipulative, just evil at the core methods.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get a family to the top without having some type of like godship in there, right. where God ordains it. Right. You're doing something right if you do that, and especially if you like keep the tenets. We see it, like we're going through it right now in our Bible study with Abraham. He's keeping the commandments. He's doing
the dude was like 120,
and he's being gifted this like lineage and whatnot. I mean, that's not for all of us. For the time, that's what was ordained and needed, by
right.
God for people on earth. So now maybe that's not what you'll end up getting necessarily, is like all your spawn will run the world. But but the blessings are going to be innumerable, in just different ways, and like.
But guess what? You have 5 sons, and you let them all, like you raise them to the point where they lead nowhere, they have no job, they let themselves go to squalor, they don't live for the Lord, and in fact they sow evil. Then guess what? You're fucked. You didn't do any
your
good.
curses come back to you tenfold, really. Yeah.
So like the importance is instilling the Lord in your children. I think that's like the point of life, is to like have children and instill the Lord in them.
Yeah, and then the rest kind of happens.
Yeah. And whether it happens or not is like the Lord's will. If the children are for the Lord, then it's the Lord's will. You know.
And who are we to ascribe?
Like the whole time my wife was pregnant, I was just praying that, like, God, this is your child. Like, this is not my kid. This is your kid. I'm going to raise it for you. Like, your will be done. Because I was worried about the health of the baby. I'm worried that she's going to be born healthy, because my whole life as a kid, I was a douchebag. I'm mocking people with disabilities. And then I'm like, well, when I have a kid,
thought that it was coming back at you.
I'm like, when I have a kid, I'm going to have a disabled kid, because I fucking mocked all these disabled people when I was a kid. And then I had like come to terms with it. I was like, actually, I wouldn't have a problem with that, because like, these disabled people rock. There's nothing wrong with having a disabled kid. And so, like, I had come to terms with that, but I still thought I was going to have a disabled kid. So then I'm like, my wife's pregnant. I'm praying, just, God, whatever happens, your will be done. It's your kid. I'm going to take care of it for you, like, the best as I can. And I'm trying to, like, I thought it was going to be a boy. And, like, I wanted to choose a name that was, like, your child to God, essentially. Yeah. Came out a girl, but... yeah, crazy.
A wonderful little girl. Wonderful little chickie.
Yeah.
She's great.
Rocking my fucking world.
The first year's rough. The first year is rough. But after that,
it's cool. It's been great. My wife is
better.
awesome. She's I'm not going to say she's having a tough time. She's taking a lot upon herself. And for me, my stance as the husband, I say she's been great. And it's been a great time for me because my wife has been, I'm going to say, like, just such a good wife. She's stepping into the divine feminine and fucking holding shit down. Like, not like I would expect, but what one would expect from a wife. I'm not saying that I expect anything from her. I tell her all the time that, like, whenever she's like, oh, I didn't do the dishes or I didn't do that, I'm like, listen, I don't expect shit. Fucking take a break, chill out. But no, she's fucking killing it. So
yeah, and that prompts the man to step into their role as well. This
is gonna get back into a fucking family episode, but, like, when you have, like, it takes two to fucking tango. So if you're gonna start a family and you're gonna try to be quote unquote successful, like, we're not talking a monetary success anymore. We're just talking about I'm talking about instilling God in your children, right? That's the success. You want all your children to be as close to God as possible. That way their children will be as close to God as possible. So if you have one of, or, like, whatever partner, husband or wife, if either one of them is falling away from God, making choices that would be against his will, then, that's going to not necessarily, like, fuck everything up, but it's going to make everything a lot harder. So
it's something to take note of and to try to go after.
You got to try to prevent it ahead of time. So when you're picking your partner that you're going to have children with, even somebody that you want to have sex with, because guess what? Sex leads to children. Didn't know if you knew, but it could just happen. They could happen by accident.
Take responsibility for that.
So pick somebody that would be able to be a good parent. Pick somebody that could lead your children to God. Pick somebody that is going to work things out with you no matter what, and do what you need them to do so that you can do what they need you to do, so that you can be a good partner, because we got to support each other in this. And if the plan is to be one person stays at home, one person goes to work, as hard as it is in this fucking modern world, you both are going to have to really step up to the plate, because it's tough. It's really hard. It's always been hard. It's never been easy.
You know what's crazy too is that it's hard all the way around.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Yeah.
If you go the traditional route, which is both of you going to work, daycare, public school, that's hard too.
Right?
That's hard too. Like, and it's hard doing it the other way. It's just different, Yeah. Like doing it more holistic.
And so, really assess, what do you think is better? Because everything's going to be hard.
It's all hard, bro. It's all hard.
Yeah. God's way isn't always easy.
I mean, his yoke is easy. Like you're gonna feel like you're doing the right thing, but it's not. You're not gonna be, like, unburdened. You're not gonna be
that's the great thing about it.
Affected by work.
You're never gonna kick yourself in the ass because you did what you thought God wanted you to do.
No, you're gonna be able to sleep at night and look at yourself in the mirror and be like,
what happens.
You know what? Yeah. And man, I don't know. I strive. I still strive for that because, I don't know. I'm not exactly where I want to be with it all. Obviously, don't have a wife, don't have kids.
Right.
So it's definitely something I'm striving towards. But it's about the journey, and trying to bring yourself closer to that type of level, I think. And that's
Right.
what I'm working on. I'm working on that as we speak. But it's tough to get rid of old programming, especially when you've been a certain way your like whole life and you're only trying to do it when you're freaking in your 30s, you
Right.
know. And you're right, it is. It's important in
But
children, you know, to kind of instill that type of stuff. You
Yeah.
instill that at least some good sense of it, a good sense of it.
right.
And if you do that, then I mean, for the most part, you know, people, we have like a program we kind of run, you know, like we're trying to find the truth. We have a segment of our life in our young adulthood where we're trying to figure out the world and our place in it. And if you instill a good sense into a kid, I mean, you don't even have to spell it all out for them. As long as they have an idea of like what to look for and where the truth could be, they're gonna start looking there, you know.
Right.
And if you teach them good like principles about self and about being polite, stuff like that, like that's something I hold huge. I don't,
Yeah.
because I was instilled that as at a young age, and it's taken me places in life. Just being polite and being good to people, you know, like saying thank you to people when they do something for you, being grateful for it, not being a complete dickbag to strangers, even if they do something you don't like just, you know what I mean? Like you can voice yourself, but like don't be an asshole. Don't be ungrateful. Don't. Humility goes a long way.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. You know,
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Hold the door for the old ladies. Chivalry type stuff. It'll take you places.
Yeah.
Instilling those types of things and then giving them a compass of God to where if they ever fall away, because we all fall, dude. We
Yeah.
all do. It's part of our flesh. It's part of the world. It's part of us. And nobody's exempt from it, and perfection will never be achieved by any of us. Any of us. There was only one that ever achieved that perfection. Only one. It's not us, okay? So realize you're going to fall, you're going to stumble, you're going to mess up. Your compass needs to point you back to where you got to be. And if you have other guiding principles that are good that have been instilled in you, you'll go back to where you're supposed to be. You'll be on track. You'll fall away, you'll be able to come back. That's the biggest thing. Come back. And that's what God even says, you know. It's come back to him. He's got his freaking gate is always open as long as you take him in, you accept his son, and you get rid of your sin. You know, you make an earnest attempt of getting rid of your sin. Make an earnest attempt, and that's the formula for it all, dude. And that'll cure society. All the symptoms we see of society, all the symptoms we see, it's all curable. And the cure's literally in God.
Yeah.
Literally in God.
It's just that we live in a
Ugh.
godless world.
Dude, bad. Like real bad. Like crazy bad. And it's just been such a long con. It just has. It's been a long game for these guys, and just routing everybody's minds away from it and getting them to be interested in other things, giving them successful ways to do so.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, you got to realize at some point it all feels hollow. Everybody feels that way, I think, nowadays.
That's
They all
why
feel it's hollow as fuck, bro. It's bad. It's like, where's the true purpose or joy in any of this out here in
That's
the
why it's
world?
important to just build your house, build your family, build
Yeah.
your community.
Yeah.
That's it.
The family, dude. That is, I
Don't
don't
worry
know.
about the
Ever
whole
since we
world.
did that episode, it became really pertinent to me and I mean, through my experiences too, like I had a thing going on for a little bit where I had a little mini family that wasn't really mine, you know, but like that was majorly impactful in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw the value of it, you know, and like, then we do this episode. It's like, it just kind of really solidifies to me, like, that stuff is massively important.
Yeah.
And probably one of the most potent ways we have as just people, you know, as just regular folk. We're not some empire of trust fund kids. We're not some secret club of, you know, elitists and cult members with connections, you know, just as a random person. Your strongest power is like if you could get in with your family and you can try to guide them and do well with yourself and produce your own families and teach them well. And I mean, dude, that's the threat. That's the threat. That's why it's under attack the way it is.
Yeah. So
Huge fucking family rant cast. Part
yeah,
2.
I was gonna say we're 45 minutes in and we didn't hit a single planned topic yet. Do we want to?
I know.
Do
Yeah, we could. We absolutely could.
Want to fucking orient ourselves?
Yeah, yeah. We had a couple of things over the break that we've had a couple of like news stories pop up and stuff that is pretty pertinent to the times we're looking to kind of dive into a little bit. But admittedly, I haven't done a lot of research on all this stuff during the past 2 weeks, so
it's all right.
It's gonna be more speculative.
I can ramble for a bit. You can speculate. So
yeah, there we go.
I wanted to fucking hit on this. Sorry, I know people have been saying I swear too much. I gotta cut it back.
We'll work on it. I swear to, dude. I swear to.
Apparently it's just the F-bomb. So apparently this kid Nick Shirley, he's been doing videos since I think it was like 2016, 2014, something like that. He's been doing videos for a while. It started out like not amateur, like prank videos. Like he was just a punk kid doing prank videos, and it's since transformed into more political videos, more investigative videos, and he did a video recently, I think it was just in December 2025, that he did this video on like Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud in Minnesota. I might be getting all of these facts incorrectly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But what's happening is now apparently this Medicare fraud has been happening for a while, but it's also been being investigated since like 2016. Apparently they're saying that it has been under investigation for a while. So everybody is, including I think the president, or maybe it was JD Vance, I think actually said something that along the lines of like, this kid's doing more reporting or better reporting than all the mainstream news. Like, why does it take some amateur kid off the street to do some real reporting? Something along those lines. And like, you know, that's how people are feeling that are watching this video. And I get the vibe that like that is essentially the propaganda that's trying to be pushed, is like you can have an amateur kid off the street doing news, and it's better news than what you find on the news. He's uncovering real fraud. Look at it. And it's right under our nose, and we didn't even suspect it, when really all along they've been investigating it.
They've known.
But I have a problem with that still, knowing that. All right, so actually I'm going to get off topic a little bit. So the kid is apparently has some connections to Palantir. I don't know how exactly, but even just watching it, I'm like, how does this kid get, like, it looks like him and his dad, like, obviously he's been YouTubing for a while, he might have some money by now, but how is he getting all around from place to place? How's he got all this information? Like, what sort of team does this guy have behind him? Because it looks like it's pretty professional. It looks pretty well done. Now that I'm doing videos on an amateur level, it's like, all right, what does it actually take to get this sort of thing done? Because what this kid's doing, it actually takes quite a bit, you know?
Yeah.
So who's behind him? Coming to find out, he's getting, seemingly, getting backed by Palantir, Peter Thiel, that sort of thing, like by the right. So it's getting dismissed by the left as right-wing propaganda. Just don't even fucking listen to it. They're saying
dialectic.
Yeah, they're saying shit like it's last year's statistics that he's going off of, so it's irrelevant. And like these places that he's going to, they just weren't open yet. Like he's going specifically when they're closed, like conveniently going when they're closed to catch him when there's no kids there. Or like he's talking to people that their English isn't very good, so that they're not like communicating properly.
You can't trust what they say.
Yeah, like they do this shit where it's like, oh, he's not going by like proper reporter etiquette. He's not doing what you would if you were a real reporter, trying to
proper channels.
Trying to just dismiss him. And it's like, no, I don't care if it's last year's information. Still, the kid is uncovering what we're seeing now is billions of dollars of fraud.
Yeah.
So, like, it is valid, even if it's last year's information, even if these businesses have closed since last year when they got that money. It doesn't make sense, because why would you get over $1 million from the government and then close a year later? Like, I'm hearing these arguments that, like, oh, childcare is one of the most rapidly opened and closed businesses. First of all, I never heard that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Because childcare should be secure. I'm not going to let my kid go to some fucking daycare that just opened or just is just, I don't know.
Why is the turnover so high on childcare?
Yeah,
like,
what is that about?
Be.
So, and also, like, now we're talking about potentially missing kids too, because all of these places had numbers of kids that they were getting money for because they're allotted so much money per kid. So, like, now there's missing kids. So that should be a concern, and we're just dismissing it because this kid's backed by the right and his statistics are from last year and he's not doing what a reporter should. So we're just going to dismiss it outright. Well, that's bullshit. But also, like, there is cause to be concerned by the fact that he is backed by people like from the right, because he is drumming up this response of, like, why isn't the news covering this? But also,
is that him or is that the establishment? Is the establishment drumming that up, or is it him?
It's a little bit of both. So you see,
because people could be co-opted. Like, you could have something genuine that you're bringing to the table, but as soon as it gets picked up by these mainstream, vehicles, they start puppeteering it. They'll release narratives to try and sway people, as you're saying, to both sides, dude.
Well, you see this sort of thing from the kid's channel. He's got a lot of AI-made videos that are very, like, political cartoony, where it's like recognizable figures saying shit.
He's being trained.
Yeah. And then, like, a lot of it, like, it's getting memed like crazy. It's going around, like, it's pretty popular going around the internet right now. So a lot of people are just putting that take out there that, whoa, why isn't why isn't the mainstream news talking about this? Why isn't an actual investigation being done? Well, apparently it has. So now, if it has been being done for this long, why is it taken till now for anything to be done? Why is it taken until now for this senator, what is it, Waltz? Tim Waltz?
Yeah, Tim Waltz. He was going to be Kamala Harris's VP.
Yeah. So we could talk about that in a minute. But, like, why is it taken until now for these things to be addressed if it has been being investigated for this long? Why is this guy been allowed to be in charge if now, like, he's about to get booted for it? Like, there's a real back and forth about the whole thing when you really put yourself in an objective stance about it and try to figure it the fuck out. Because it is, like, the right wants you to rally right behind him. The left wants you to dismiss it outright. But there is something there. Like, there is fraud happening. It has been happening for a long time. It has apparently been investigated for a long time. The news has apparently been covering it for a long time, but people haven't been talking about it at all until now. And now that people are talking about it, something's being done. What is that about? That doesn't make
They're turning it into a shootout between the left and the right. And that's how you know that there's more. So basically, I think that what they want to detract from, neither side wants to acknowledge, like, what's going on with like the broader scope of our government. They will. I saw something. I wish I had it pulled up, but I saw something about someone being murdered. Someone that was investigating this in the past was murdered. That was trying to uncover the scandal previously. And that's insane, that, like, people, try to investigate this thing, and you have, who's murdering them, like, who has the incentive to murder someone investigating a government-led program? Right. Like this type of thing happens a lot. And, like, so what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to turn this into a left versus right thing to keep people talking about the bullshit and they're going to dissuade us from looking at, wait, what's going on? So we have murders behind this and stuff, and like, where else does this imply in the government? You know, like, they want to steer it in certain directions to get whatever desired outcomes out of it, instead of allowing it to be, you know, go unbiased and without this friction, so that people could be like, okay, well, let's find more of this. Where is this going on elsewhere? You know, it'll just lead back to the top of both parties. You know, it'll just lead back to people that don't want it to be uncovered. You know,
Right.
it's a crazy little game that they play at the top of this stuff, man. It's all about optics. It's optics.
So one direction the finger is being pointed is at the Somalis, because
Yep.
most of these are Somali-run daycares.
Who does that help?
What do you mean?
Who benefits? Who benefits from pointing the finger at Somalians?
The right.
The right.
Because
The right
they
benefits from
yeah,
that.
they want to just deport everybody. So that gets that energy up in
Yep.
the Americans, that like, oh, we got to get rid of the foreigner. The Somalis are
Yep.
are exploiting these systems. They're stealing money. Get rid of them. And
More power to
that's
that
what they
stuff.
want. Now, Tim Waltz's response was, we should instead be pointing the finger at the white man, because these Somalis, most of them don't even know that they're signed up for these programs. They don't understand what's going on. You have a dude in a suit come up and say, hey, you got a daycare, we're going to sign you up for this program, get you some money. They pocket most of it. The company shuts down in a year because they only had 70 kids and they weren't making that much money. They didn't get the whole grant that they were allotted by the government, so they shut down. They didn't do what they were supposed to. Now they're getting held accountable for some shit they didn't even know they were involved in. Meanwhile, whoever the fuck was involved, the white man, Mr. Tim Waltz says the white man in the suit is the one that should be held accountable, is not being held accountable. So that is
racial things,
yeah,
man.
that
It's-
is a valid that is a valid take. You know, there are not just Somalis involved, but there are people within the government. To say white man in a suit is ridiculous. It is
Yes.
people within the government that are signing, even if it's not like, so the government's allowing the fraud to happen. They're not investigating. They're not doing their,
What is this? A washing? Is this a
Yeah.
laundering or a
Right.
washing scheme that
no,
they're using?
that's
these
what it
daycares
always
for?
is. It's always a way to send money to this person, and then when we investigate and audit, oh, the money, we failed the audit. We don't know what happened to the
Black
money.
budget, freaking like military level stuff.
Yeah.
You know, where they're washing money through these child daycares to fund black projects. Like, what is it? You know, like there's more to this, and the reason that they're fueling it the way they're fueling it is to direct away from that.
Yeah, so the left is like, oh, well, it's the people that are signing them up. And the right is like, oh, well, it's the Somalis. And some people are like, oh, well, it's the government corruption. And really, it's all three. Stop pointing fingers either which way. There's Somali immigrants that are stealing money knowingly and shouldn't fucking be here because they're illegal and they're stealing money. And there's missing children. And what the fuck is that? What is going on that needs to be investigated? Then there's the people signing them up, stealing the money. That is criminal. Like that is stealing taxpayer money. That's signing innocent Somalis up for programs fraudulently. That's not okay. And then the politicians that allow this to happen, that fail the audit, that don't keep track of the money, they're not secure with taxpayer money. They're just pay. So
But people are voting them in.
Yeah, they all deserve to be held accountable.
Yes.
So quit pointing fingers. Hold everyone accountable.
This could lead also, because you mentioned Palantir, all right?
Yeah.
Palantir is a massive surveillance tech company that specializes in military grade, tech and surveillance apparatus, So we had this whole thing go on when Trump first got in office with this like audit type style thing that was going on with Doge, all right? And we're exposing all of this corruption, but honestly, are we exposing all of the corruption?
No.
I feel like we're only exposing certain corruption.
Yeah, they
and certain
expose
corruption that they
that
can
pointed
use.
a finger at the left.
Yes, and to point fingers in a direction that drums up public support and sentiment towards making changes that are favorable for a few people.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they are slightly beneficial to more than just a few at the top. Maybe a couple people at the bottom will benefit. But this is really what it's got me worried about is they're going to try to drum up support through these narratives for surveillance state level, bills, technology, uh, uh, data centers with people's names on them, lists. Uh, this is where everything's moving, especially with
Well,
AI.
yeah, you could imagine young JD Vance running in, what is it, 2028?
Yeah, and he is a whore to Palantir.
Yeah, so he's going to say, oh, do you not like these immigrants? Let's use Palantir to increase our security,
Yep.
put cameras everywhere, put these systems in, sign your souls away to our buddy Palantir for your own
Yep.
security because we scared you so much about the immigrants,
Yes.
about the corrupt politicians. Let's just sign everything away to AI because they're going to take care of it all.
The problem is, see, this is where things get so dicey because that is a problem, So we're getting this pressure from both sides of this where it's like these things are happening and it is bad. We don't want unfettered immigration in our country because it's not a good thing, dude. There is so much science behind it. It's unreal,
Yeah.
like political and societal science that is sound as fuck, dude. All right? Like we don't dispute that, But then we also have this thing where it's like they're putting pressure for these like surveillance tech, and these like lists and the power to be signed away from people, and so it's like we've got this pressure from both sides of this, and so
can I just
it's not
squash
to
the
say that neither one of these are wrong, It's like, what do we do they get you from both sides.
We got to squash the argument for anti-immigration because people want to argue, the fucking sympathetic left is all like, well, we, the U.S., destabilized their country through war and trading and exploitation, and now, even if they wanted to vote the correct people in, they couldn't because we've replaced all the politicians with who we want. And we just continue to exploit and run their countries into the ground. So when they want to come here for sanctuary and they want to come here for safety because we ruin their country, we should just let them in. We should take care of them. We should give them all the benefits. We should, because we destabilize. So how about we actually get rid of the government that does that to people, instead of just letting the government continue doing that and then letting those people live here, which is going to destabilize our people. How about we get rid of the government that does that to people? And then they can do what they need to do. They're not our people, but we shouldn't be destabilizing other countries. We shouldn't be implementing our will and usurping and causing what's the word? When you change leaders? Insurrections.
Yeah, it's something like that.
So like we do that all the time, and we need to fucking stop. We need to get rid of any politician that is pro military industrial complex, because that's all they want to do is war with these other countries and take all their resources and keep them in the ground so that we stay on top. How about we just keep to ourselves?
That's another scary thing you got to be careful of too. It is
isolationism.
Isolationism is actually kind of, it gets a little wacky sometimes,
Russia's doing a pretty good job, I think.
From whatever we can tell, I don't live there, so I can't
right.
really put a too heavy of a thing on it, but
not complete.
I do agree that we shouldn't be, doing all this like black ops freaking we're literally like toppling governments and planting our own guys in, and like and giving them bad deals. The central banks are freaking indebting these governments to their system that inevitably funnels back to us and funnels back to these international bodies. It doesn't even necessarily have to funnel back to, the United States. It funnels back to these central banks. These central banks, they love the
Corporations.
wars. They love it. They're international. That's what this whole new world order thing's about. It's like they
Yeah.
want to dissolve the country's borders and bring everybody in under one banner, and it just consolidates the power more at the top with these people that are already in power. They're already doing it. They're just doing it under a guise, and they've got like more hoops they have to jump through to get shit done.
Right.
But I want them to jump through hoops to get shit done.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to have unfettered access to the power like that. They got to jump through some freaking hoops.
Yeah,
and
and
that
they're
way it
gonna
kind of
say-
makes it a little bit more obvious when they fuck up, because we can see one of the hoops that got toppled over, and we can be like, oh wait, let's trace back who went through that hoop, who fucked that hoop up.
Yeah.
Like.
And they're gonna say, make it easier for the immigrants to get in because it takes too long. And that's the problem. That's why they're jumping the border.
What is the essence of being an immigrant coming to another country? And when you immigrate, it's not like, oh, I'm just coming to party for a week or two and then I'm going back home. No, you're coming here to live.
Yeah.
You're coming here to live. What is the bare minimum? You got to know about our country. You got to get vetted to come in. You can't be like part of some military, or like a CIA of a different country that's coming here to do some crazy shit. We got to vet you. We can't make this super just come on over, dude. Come on over.
Right.
And then go to school that we'll pay for, and you become like some nuclear tech, and the next thing you know, you're heading up a nuclear facility.
Right.
But you're actually Chinese. And
Right. It
little did anyone know,
honestly
because
doesn't
we didn't
matter. They
vet
don't
you,
care.
You're
So-
part of their military.
That reminds me of something else I saw is not on our list. Ukraine president, what's his name?
Zelensky.
Zelensky is now, I think, the largest landowner in the U.S. Something.
Yeah, he has some crazy freaking what's it called?
He bought some ranch that's bigger than some
like
states.
Yellowstone.
Yeah,
He's got like a Yellowstone thing going on.
He bought a ranch that spans multiple states. So Zelensky, president of another
than Rhode
country,
Island.
bought with the money from one of his side companies. He used one of his side companies to buy all this land. Bought so much land in the United States of America, it's flipping profound. And we gave them how much money? How much money?
Dude, he's just funneling that into his own like little offshore
That
accounts.
is
He's washing it
insane.
up.
We should all go camp on Zelensky's land. We should all just post up a commune on Zelensky's land. That's insane.
Be like,
that
what
should
are you
not.
doing here,
That
dude?
should not
What
be
are you
allowed.
doing here?
That is not okay. That is
Where'd you
huge
get this
cause for
money from?
concern. On top of that, the Chinese own a ton of farmland, and conveniently, all that Chinese farmland is usually located next to or around military bases.
Yep.
Why would we allow a foreign country that is generally considered one of our enemies, if not one of our rivals, why are we allowing them to purchase any land at all in our country, let alone land next to our military bases?
Yeah.
That's not okay at all. That should be illegal.
You know what's wild though? What if we allow them to do that type of shit so that they can spy on us, and then we feed them bad information?
Yeah.
So we know, we're like, oh yeah, we know what they're doing. They've got this generation of spying tech. Like we know what they're doing. We're just, whenever people are talking and we know they're recording, we're freaking just feeding them shitty information and laughing at them.
And then you got
That'd be freaking funny.
Bill Gates, one of the top 10 tech supervillains.
Oh, dude, that Gates guy,
He owns a gigantic percentage of farmland that just keeps growing, keeps on buying farmland, and he's just putting out poison. Anything labeled appeal or appeal,
get away from
that's
it.
poison.
Everything's bioengineered now too. They're talking about putting vaxes in the food, and
That comes from Bill Gates. And Bill Gates is a population controller. Bill Gates thinks people need to die. He wants to euthanize the population.
He's a eugenicist.
Eugenicist. There we go. Thank you.
He is a eugenicist, and he touts it. He is a proud eugenicist.
Openly touts it.
Yes. He's part of the death cult. That's a fact.
Yeah.
He's one of their leading poster boys for the death cult.
Do we want to talk about his best bud? That was on our list.
Which one?
Bill Gates was huge best friends with Epstein. They were super close.
Schmepstein?
Yeah, so when Bill Gates was asked about Epstein being caught, he said, well, I guess he should have been more careful.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He should have been more careful, not he shouldn't have done those things. Ooh, Bill Gates, you need to be more careful, bud. We're coming for you.
He's just so protected, and like
he came up a lot in the recently released Epstein files.
Yeah.
He came up a lot. Dude needs to go to prison. He is gross.
Yeah. But is he going to go to prison? Probably not.
No.
He's probably going to walk free his whole life. He probably has never taken a single vaccine in his life.
If anybody...
but he's pushing them on everybody.
So the recently released Epstein files came out all redacted. People found out that you can put it into a PDF editor, copy and paste the text, and you can get the redacted text because they did a poor job blacking everything out. It's retrievable.
That to me screams op.
Right? It seems intentional.
It screams op.
People are saying you shouldn't have fired so many federal employees because now you got a bunch of people that don't know how to do their jobs. That makes sense.
That seems like an op freaking narrative too.
Yeah.
It all feels op, dude.
Either way, if anybody has any sources on good information that is coming out of the Epstein files, please link it and send it to us. We want to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Another thing that I wouldn't mind kind of trying to see if people have any trail with. I got a theory with the Epstein thing that to me a theory. Is literally. So this thing to me, I'm saying op. To me, this is getting to a weird place now with how public it is. It's being pushed a lot officially. We've got narratives coming out, and it's really soaking up a lot of focus. This Epstein thing, and
you got the left and the right have covered it up for 6 years, 7 years now.
Dude, like this has been something that they've been working on,
Both sides, everybody.
They've had all of this data. They've had all these videos, all these pictures, all these letters, all these court case statements, all these sealed...
Dude, the witnesses were going to come out and start naming people, and they never did.
Yeah. Like, all of this has been so sealed away, and then they've packaged up how they're going to release it, which is like, you think that this redacted bundle or bungle is any type of like organic thing. No, this is on purpose. It's on purpose. And it's all about optics. Said that before, and I mean it. It's all about optics. And to me, it feels like we've got... I don't know if people are on the same wavelength as me when it comes to all this. Trump is not the guy, all right? He's entertaining. Dude, he's entertaining. He's funny, and that's gets a lot of people with that angle. Speaks it as it is. So he's very plain about things, and people like him for that angle.
He's a man's president, for sure.
Yeah, and he's been so public his whole life. He's been into... Dude, he was on the WWE, WWF, whatever it is, the wrestling shit, dude. Like, our president? That's a Zelensky move, Like, everybody, when Zelensky was a thing, when Ukraine first kicked off, what was everybody saying? They're all like, dude, the guy was an actor, like, this is a play that's going on, like, all this stuff. But then we got Trump in, and you got a shitload of people that are like... It's
not just that they're actors. It was that Zelensky was gay as fuck in everything that he was an actor in. He played piano with his penis, and he was in a gay film. So I think that's the difference. Everything Trump was in, he was the boss. He was the rich guy in Home Alone.
It's all like programming.
He's always been super rich Trump. He was in Home Alone as himself. And then he's in his show there, the
You're fired.
intern. The intern? Is that what it's called?
No. No. Dude, I don't care. We know what it is.
Yeah, you're fired.
Whatever. You're fired, motherfucker.
You all know it.
Dude, all of that is image, like we had The Simpsons, okay? The Simpsons predicted like visually with like 100% accuracy Trump's like election. Dude, like nuts. Absolutely insane. So you get like the Simpsons video and it's the escalator, they're in Trump Tower. Trump just became president. And you've got the people holding up posters and stuff, and in the Simpsons thing, the person that's standing next to the little like glass barrier there, their poster drops, and they go bend over, pick it up. Trump's going down the escalator. You get the video of Trump's election, and he's coming down the escalator in real life, going down the escalator. Everybody's around him with their posters, and the dude drops the fucking poster the same exact way.
Yeah.
This shit blew everybody's mind when it happened. A lot of people, they glitched out. They were like, man, this has got to be some glitch in the Matrix. Is Simpsons, are they tapping into something? What's going on? Is this like ordained by God type stuff? Or is this like black magic? Or is this all theater? I lean towards theater. He has been a figure his whole life. He's got an image, he's got a persona, he's got this whole thing that he has just kept the entire time. Then we get this Epstein stuff. And who's a key person that has literally been around Epstein, pictures taken, he's had even police reports that were filed, but nothing happened, so it's like, all of this is leading to he's connected, obviously.
We're meant to believe, he was running for president and all this stuff was coming out, that he was with the FBI investigating Epstein.
Yeah.
And now where's any of that?
They've been buddies. They were working together at bare minimum for this production that we have going on today. This Epstein Files debacle, which... what is it doing? It's highlighting high key members in politics, in Hollywood,
hasn't highlighted enough
business, and all sorts of shit.
Drawing attention to it hasn't really highlighted much of anybody.
A lot of people. There's already a list that was
highlighted
with names
Stephen
on it.
Hawking. Stephen Hawking of all people got highlighted as being an abuser, and he died right after. Convenient.
And right now, what we're having is all this we're getting all these redacted leaks.
Yeah.
And so names are coming out, pictures are coming out.
A ton
we got
of
Michael Jackson.
So the pictures are bullshit. I haven't seen a single picture that's worth anything. So the picture of the celebrities aren't showing anything. All the celebrities seem to be in other places, not on Epstein's island. And then you're finding that some of these pictures, like a picture of Trump went around with a bunch of girls and the girls' faces were blacked out. Those girls were from a beauty contest that happened at one of Trump's buildings because Trump held a bunch of beauty contests. And that picture was released already with all their faces. So that had been known. This picture with Michael Jackson that went around, everybody's trying to say Michael Jackson's a pedophile again, was at Epstein's island, because we know Epstein was a pedophile. Oh, we have this vague memory of Michael Jackson being a pedophile. No, Michael Jackson wasn't a pedophile. They had a bunch of shit on Michael Jackson and tried to make him look like a pedophile because he was buying out Sony and buying all of his licenses back and was going to have more money than the industry.
Expose it.
He was going to be free. And so they set him up to be a pedophile so nobody would listen to him or take him credible.
Yep.
You got, I don't know, I saw Chris Rock.
Yeah. No. Dave Chappelle, right? Or
no. I saw Oprah.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of Bill Clinton. So much Bill Clinton.
I think that what we had in the first phase of the Epstein thing is they highlighted people that everybody already suspected and also have trails leading back to intensely dark and intensely criminal things.
Oh, the
And so
English
you get them
royalty?
highlighted. Yep, English royalty. So you get all of these people highlighted in the very beginning phase of this psyop. Then what you do is you do what you're doing right now, which is you release this flood of pictures, okay, and shitty redacting that allows people to see other names and other pictures of people that have had their pictures taken with Epstein. This Epstein guy got his picture taken with everybody. If you were ever around him and you were someone prominent, he would go get pictures with you.
Right.
Like, it was a thing. It's a thing. And it's because he was prominent philanthropist, you know, and like connected to people, and like you have a manager or a agent that is like, oh, this guy here, you get a picture with him, it's gonna make you look awesome, you know. So it's like a leveraged thing, and they know that in the future it's gonna be used for blackmail or for this coup d'état that I think is happening.
Right.
And you release the first people who are evil that they're willing to burn. They're willing to burn these people. And then they're also releasing out these other people, you know, like that are just... So what everyone's going to do now is they're just going to guilty by association. Everybody that's on the list, everybody that is in these pictures that's even connected to this Epstein thing, it is going to be open season for let's get rid of all of them. And you've got this Trump frickin' presidency and cabinet and frickin' operation running this. You can target key individuals. You can target key industries. You can target... Dude, they've got pictures with everybody. You can target the entire, like, American corporation for a takeover.
People are catching on to that, like...
The New World Order.
There's, like, memes coming out where it's, like, a whole Epstein list redacted and everything not redacted. It says, everybody but me. And then Trump's holding it. Like, here's the Epstein list. It's everybody but me. Everything else is redacted. Yep.
And I don't know, maybe even it's part of the play that Trump ends up going down too. You know, it could very well be that.
How about we
and
need
that would usher
AI
us into another level? Yes,
we can't retrieve the Epstein files. We need this super AI.
There's so many angles that could be played from this, and it gives them a lot of power. You know, like they have so much power just in this list. Like all they'd have to do is just hold on to it for a while, throw names of people that are resistance to what they want to usher in, which is some sort of totalitarian, communist-esque, just surveillance state, New World Order, dude. It's where it's all moving.
New World Order.
And it has been. It's what it's all about. And this Epstein stuff, to me, it just screams op. It screams, like, look here, get mad. We're going to do something about it, and we're going to satisfy your bloodlust. Because who doesn't hate, you know, pedophiles? Who doesn't hate human traffickers? Who doesn't hate corrupt politicians that are stealing money? Who doesn't hate these people, you know? So let's expose a bunch of them and burn them and group a bunch of other people that are in our way. And like in with those people, the public will demand their death and sacrifice. We will give it to them. And then from that, we will build the next system that we will use for control. And people will beg for it. They're going to beg for it. They're going to be like, dude, we don't want what happened with the Epstein thing. We don't want this corruption. So we got to vet people a certain way. We need to have biometrics on people. We need to have all of your social media stuff, all of your information, your facial recognition data, your blood, your hair, your dude, everything. They just want all of that. Yep. And that's power. And they get to choose who they put in. And we get really no say. We've been shown elections are bullshit.
Yeah. So it's when everybody's going down for this and they start... Because the idea is that nobody's saying who's on the list because nobody wants to get outed. So once everybody starts going down for being on the list and they start singing like birds, who else is on the list that's not going down? Is anybody going to listen to them when there's no actual proof? We just got all the proof we needed. We just got all the proof. Everybody's going down. Oh, they're singing like birds because they don't want to go down. What do you mean? We're not going to listen to them.
It's a controlled demolition. And it's been put in place for so long. I mean, dude, the Simpsons thing is really kind of like a key thing. And it's crazy to say, but it is, dude, you can't get that accurate without
Soft
this being
disclosure.
some type of plan. You can't. This is a plan.
Yeah.
And it's been in the works for a very long time. They're ahead of us. Like way ahead of us. Yeah. They got this shit, dude. They know how it works. And they're just puppeteering it. You know, if anything goes a little wrong, then they apply a little bit more pressure over here. Oh, school shooting over here. Look at that.
Yeah,
oh, freaking data leak. Someone hacked Facebook. Facebook was down for a couple hours. Russia. They
Minnesota Medicaid fraud.
Dude, anytime they need
that
something,
story
they got
blew
it
up
for
so
a distraction.
quick. It was overnight.
Yep. And then they get their guys to just, hey, spin the narrative. Get these guys to look bad with this, okay? And then the other side's like, hey, take this narrative, spin it so these guys look bad, and then distribute it to all your followers so that all your followers get that information, and then they battle each other, and there's friction here, and then we get to give them a solution. What's the solution? It's going to be,
I thought of a solution.
Battle, we're going to take power away and give it here, and we're going to create organizations. We're going to create bureaucracies around this, and we're going to give people jobs, and there's going to be money here, and all we need is your soul.
I thought of a solution.
That's all we need.
The success of your ability, or the contention, the factor that your ability to continue to be a politician or a CEO or a head of business or, you know, all of these people that we complain about running the world. When you get to that point where you have that amount of power, if you want to keep that position, you need a podcast. You need a podcast where you upload one video a week that's at least an hour long, and you need to talk to your audience. And if you get so many downvotes, you are done. You're fired. And if you it's a majority thing. If your ratio is more positive, you get to keep your job. If it's more negative, then you lose your job. And bro,
you can just lie then at that point.
No,
and just say whatever people want. You know,
you could, but like in the podcast, it would come out. You gotta have a live chat that you engage with. You know, that way the chat can call you out on bullshit. You can't just ignore stuff. You got to have guests on from time to time, and then no more funding. We don't got to worry about politicians being funded by other people because
that's where the biggest compromising single factor is. I forget the name of it, dude. There's a name for what that is. Where they it was a bill that was passed. It was the ability for these lobbying companies to generate money for politicians.
Right. Why do we
Money was supposed to be kept out of it. Dude, the corporations were supposed to be kept out of politics like that. And now they're running it.
Well, they need the money to run. And it's like, why do you need money to run?
You should have merit to run.
Yeah,
you should have example to run, not money.
Yeah, anybody now can pull out their phone and do a podcast. So if Trump was like, all right, I'm going to be president 2024, how am I going to do that? Instead of going around the country and trying to talk to people, how about I just do a podcast? How about I talk directly to the people every day or every week, you know? Like, that would be the best way. If fucking Joe Rogan ran for president right now, he would be the president. Like, talk to the people directly and do what they want you to do. That would make the best politician. Don't be lobbying for, like, that's the problem. They all lobby each other. They all get in each other's pockets, and then they run us into the ground.
Yeah.
And so they should be serving us. I think right now, with the technology that we have, the best way to make them serve us would be to force them to have a podcast and engage with us on a regular basis or lose their job. And if their engagement displeases us, then they lose their job.
I mean, that would keep it more towards a true democracy, which is, I guess the goal.
We're at the point where we don't need news outlets. We don't need business sponsors. We don't need corporate news media coverage. We don't need any of that for people to run for their positions. You can pull out your phone and do a podcast and talk directly to the people. It costs nothing.
Yeah.
Why do you need billions of dollars to run for your position?
You don't.
You don't. You just got to get in somebody's pocket. That's fucking nonsense.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the hell the name of the frickin'
APEC?
No. No.
Fuck APEC. Can we say that on here?
Yes.
Can we?
Probably. We might get demonetized or shadow banned, but...
Oh, I was asking you because it's our podcast. If we can,
I'm trying
if we're
to
allowed.
think of the name of this freaking shit. I'm almost gonna look it up, dude. What is the name of the
Oh, I don't even know what you're looking for.
bill that allows lobbying?
Why are you searching out loud? So
everybody knows.
the law for lobbying. Yeah, I just read a little bit of the Constitution the other day. Yeah, I don't know what else. So I also wanted to talk about. Should we switch topics or?
Yeah, because my very terrible search result yielded nothing.
Yeah, what else was on the Epstein shit? I don't know.
I don't know.
If we covered everything before I want to switch. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a rant. Whatever. We'll get to the other shit. So, this whole battle, speaking of, like, fake news that's just to keep everybody occupied and divide people, this Erica Kirk, Candace Owens, what happened to Charlie, everybody's going crazy online. All the influencers are talking, like, all the, before Charlie died, all the people that was, like, right-wing versus the left-wing influencers, like the right side. Now the right side is against the right side. You've got different groups of influencers like battling each other on the right side about who killed Charlie or whether or not you should stop fucking asking. And it just come down to Candace went and talked to Candace went and talked to Erica about it. They actually had a meeting. And conveniently enough, their meeting was not recorded, even though that's what Candace seemed to want most of all, was to have a public conversation that everybody could hear, because we all think Erica's up to no good. Nope, they had a conversation behind closed doors, and Candace has hardly addressed the subject. So it does seem super suspect. It's making a lot of people lose faith in Candace. A lot of people are still super suspect of Erica.
They might have just threatened the shit out of her, dude.
I think that's what happened.
You know what I mean? They probably just threatened the shit out of her. They brought a little laptop in a suitcase, and they opened it up, and it had like photos of all of her people that are important to her.
Yeah, she's got kids now. She's got a husband.
It has like drone video of like a drone that's equipped with Hellfire missiles that's showing like where she lives and like her commute, her in the car, and then it zooms in on her face and she's singing some Taylor Swift song. and they're like, "Do you see what we've got going on?
Can't let that get out.
Shut the fuck up. Be quiet. And yeah, you're good. Get out of here." That's all you gotta do, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, say one more thing. Say one more thing.
Yeah.
And do you see that button right there? I could press that right now and the missile's in this room. I just don't want to kill myself. So I could hit this button and it's there. You're done. The heart attack gun goes off. You know, the frickin' the U lasers will shoot from the sky and melt your house.
Well, so the whole situation is really weird. Even after the fact. So they had the TPUSA event, and they had a booth set up that was a replica of the booth that Charlie got shot under.
What
and people are taking pictures and selfies with it.
Dude, Erica Kirk, for all that has happened, this chick
She's
was
so
born for this moment, dude.
dude.
This is the
So
pinnacle of her life
and
is
then
now.
for their first event since Charlie died, they had as a special celebrity guest Nicki Minaj of all people.
Yes, yes. Who
And
accidentally slips up?
well, despite that, which I think was cool on Nicki's part, I'm not gonna say anything bad about Nicki Minaj because I've always kind of liked her, even though she seems a little Illuminati.
She is most definitely Illuminati.
Well, so I heard a theory that they created Cardi B. Cardi B is a product of the Illuminati because Nicki Minaj was not co-opted.
No, she was definitely co-opted, bro. 1,000%.
I don't know if she's
You don't get there without it, bro.
if she's going up on TPUSA stage and then talking out against, like saying JD Vance is the assassin. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
dude, it's all.
I
don't know.
I don't have anything on her, but it was funny. People were sending fucking pictures of her feet around because her feet were like shoved into her shoes and they were bulging out. And like, people are so dirty online. Why are they so mean? Anyway,
I don't know, dude.
So Charlie had been quoted like discouraging Nicki Minaj's music and that type of person, saying that that's not what you should aspire to look up to, is people like Nicki Minaj. And then
Nicki Minaj.
and then his wife puts her up on the stage. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then, like Tommy said, she goes out to repeat, apparently, this is how Erica explained it afterwards, repeating the quote that JD Vance is the assassin. And she's like, yeah, we heard it all online, but it really did seem like an assertion almost, because she was like quiet and weird about it afterwards. And Erica definitely did seem to be covering. But her whole...
Erica Kirk is nuts, dude. Yeah. This whole thing is just wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't ask questions. Don't pay so much attention. Like, ignore us. Give me time to grieve. I need privacy. But let me do fucking fireworks while I come out on stage.
Yep.
And let me wear a fucking disco ball dress and...
Let me sell merch about Charlie and his death. Let me ask for donations up to $100,000 from everybody who is a contributing member to TPUSA.
Start quoting Jewish stuff and sell the company that he created to the Jews because, you know, he was a hardcore Christian. So let's just start integrating Christian stuff.
Every Saturday he came home, he would say, Shalom, Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Daddy's
Shabbat
home.
Shalom. Daddy's home.
Got it.
Dude, I want a shirt that says
I know.
Shalom, Daddy's home. That would be some good merch, dude.
Right?
That would be some good merch. Shabbat Shalom. Daddy's home.
Oh,
dude, fantastic. I mean, dude, if you don't laugh about it, you're gonna cry about it, or you're gonna get mad about it, and then you're gonna get co-opted. Like, comedy truly is the actual medicine for all of this.
Yeah.
For all of this.
Except for now, all the comedians seem to be co-opted too. It's like,
I don't know.
Joe became the king of the comedians, and then slowly all the comedians got co-opted.
I feel like they're trying to. The biggest comedian that I listen to, and I'll give him a shout out any day, Sam Tripoli.
Yeah.
That dude ain't co-opted.
Right.
That dude ain't co-opted. And he's like comedy, dude. Like, he's, I don't know. I took you out. Yeah.
No, we saw him.
We went out and we saw him, dude. We saw him live. That was freaking sweet. I still got the shirt hanging up in my room. That dude's freaking awesome.
Sam Tripoli is the host of Tinfoil Hat Podcast and a stand-up comedian and just a great guy. And
he's pretty sweet, dude. He's pretty sweet. Mind you, he's nuts.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of nuts that, you know,
we aspire.
Yes, I aspire to be as schizo as that. Just not as dysfunctional, you know, for the majority of my life.
Right.
No, I truly I've heard it somewhere, and I'm trying to remember where. that comedy is kind of the answer to the entire thing, and that's just like loose understanding of it because it was way better articulated. But it's like you got to be able to make fun of this stuff.
Yeah.
You have to, and like
You have to laugh to
attacking
keep from
comedy
crying.
is when you know that you're living in like bad times, that there's too much power with too many bad people. When comedy gets ostracized and it gets like cancel culture, all this stuff, you know, like they were canceling comedians for making fucking jokes. It's like, no, dude. When you start seeing stuff like that,
They still
just
are.
know that you're hovering close to the target. You're hovering the target.
It's just
if
coming
you
from
start
the
getting
right now
attacked
instead
for
of the
being a
left.
comedian, and that you're also living in a society that is degrading because you're being attacked for speaking, you know, funny things that you've put together. That they're jokes. It's a joke. It's a joke.
People don't know how to take them.
Yeah, it's dude, and it's eroding. You know, every day, every year, it's eroding. You know, the ability for comedy to be a true form of comedy, that you're able to say anything, like true freedom of speech rides with a comedian. You know, the most successful ones, they say the craziest shit.
Back in the day,
you know?
the jester was the only one that would deliver negative news to the king because the king would kill anybody else.
Yep.
The jester actually had this really high seat in court.
Yep.
Because the jester could say and do shit to the king that nobody else could get away with.
Yep.
And we might actually do an episode on jesters because...
And I feel like, oh, dude, there's so much with jesters.
Like
there's the Royal Order of Jesters, which is a Freemason thing.
Yeah, the
clown,
the jester.
So much.
It's so
There's
crazy.
So much. Jesters are crazy.
Yeah.
You see them when you're on DMT, apparently.
It's like an ancient thing. Like, it's older than medieval times. It's older than you think when you think jester.
I think it goes to Nephilim shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, it ties in with this primordial being that was around during creation and had a sacred role and could have possibly fallen and now holds a darker role. But yeah, the jester thing is crazy, dude. Yeah. And you know what? Another thing too, to stay on topic with what we were saying, what I was saying before,
about comedy.
Any of these kingdoms that would fall, you know, were probably the kings that killed their jesters, or didn't have a jester.
He's just making an assumption.
Dude, go look at unsuccessful kingdoms. You know,
you'll never see a jester.
Their jester's probably gone. You know, or they killed the jester.
Yeah, you'll see art of their jester strung up. And then that civilization just disappeared.
And then they failed. And then they disintegrated, or they lost a war, or the king got too suspicious and he started killing all the people that actually, you know, were his biggest supporters because he was critical of them. They were conspiring.
Right.
You know? The jesters, man. Dude, the jesters are dope. They're dope. I do have to admit.
I don't know about dope.
It's dope, dude. It's dope.
I'll give him no reverence. The concept is interesting, and I would like to know more. It's definitely a good look for a character, if like the Bard, the Loki, the
Joker.
The Joker, the Deceiver. I heard this story about like clowns being like this eldritch horror. Like in the beginning, there's like the different types of clown. There was like a midget, a really fat clown, a really tall, skinny clown that you like thought was on stilts. He was so tall and skinny, he must have been on stilts. Well, like you come to find out, like those are his actual legs. They were big and long and gangly and nasty. And the fat one was just full of pus and ooze. And
did I show you the Nephilims are clowns, or clowns are Nephilim?
Yeah. No, that's why.
That's more along the lines of what we are looking at here.
Yeah.
It's like people back in the day, like when the circuses were just starting to pop up, like they started depicting clowns, and like even before that they were a thing, like they've
But how
always been
crazy
around.
that somebody else wrote a story completely separate from that the clowns are like an eldritch horror. Like there's something
Yeah.
from another time space, like an alien evil.
Yeah, and that's to compete with it, And
Right.
then they sell that narrative more to get people more on board with aliens and gay shit and more away from God and the actual biblical story that has
Right.
been well preserved and fought endlessly over for, all
Well,
of humanity.
or it's like
So
the Mother Horse Eyes, where it's like a slow drip of what really is out there.
maybe. I don't know if I truly trust Mother Horse Eyes. That was very, entertaining to listen to, but
I'm not saying Mother Horse Eyes is true. I'm just saying it's like so close to, it's like subtle disclosure of like so close to what's really out there.
it's like Stranger Things, bro. Yeah. Minus Will and his coming out party.
I don't know. There's a lot to Mother Horse Eyes. We should read it sometime. Was there anything else? Oh, the war in, it's hard switch. The war in, potential war. Or is it Venezuela?
With Venezuela?
Yeah. So that is not a war with Venezuela. That will
That's
be
a war with China.
Yeah, that will be a war with China and Russia. So they've already declared that they are going to support Venezuela if we were to attack, and we already are set to attack. So it seems like World War III on the doorstep again. Yet another avenue for World War III.
The president of peace.
The president of peace.
The president of peace. Another bill of goods that was sold to you that just didn't end up panning out, huh?
So that's what people need to understand, is that this was not Trump or Kamala, because what the options were at the time presented, Kamala Harris means we are being sold to China. They were already well on their way to just let China take over. Like that was what was coming for us. Probably war with Russia. That's kind of always at the end of it, because Russia seems to be the one that's actually holding true to some sort of values. And then you have Trump, which seemed like one thing. Like, he did have a lot of people convinced that he was something different than what he has panned out to be. But now Trump has panned out to just be selling us to Israel and putting us in wars again with China and Russia. So
ancient Babylonian cult.
Yeah. It's like, who would have been a better option? There were no better options. The only better option is a whole change of structure. This isn't working anymore for us. We need to go back and figure out a new way of doing it.
Need a revolution.
We really do.
Yeah, that's just a scary thing to think about.
I mean, other countries are doing it. So we need to figure out what a new structure would look like, and then maybe try to start implementing it in the future.
What's really crappy is how far we've let it go, that it feels like really it's just the tape's gonna play out. Like we could try to do a revolution, and who knows, maybe we could find various levels of success, but at the end of the day, you get a weak United States and we've got competitors looking to take advantage of that.
The problem is we're on the verge of a world order. So if you were to have a revolution, you almost would need to have it at a world scale.
Yes.
And then
even China would have to participate in this.
Right.
We'd have to get the Chinese to participate.
And then what do you have? A whole new world order. You just created the new world order.
Right? And then they co-opt the revolution.
Yeah.
Just seek Jesus. Seek Jesus. The times are coming, guys. They're coming. We're letting you be aware of it so that you can watch it with us, because we're watching it in existential dread, but also with the hope and the knowledge, knowing that Jesus is coming. And to meet him one day is going to be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful.
Maybe
it's all good at the end, dude. It really is.
Maybe if you
is.
don't want to read the Bible, go read Revelation and just see how it applies to what we're dealing with in our
Dude,
current.
it's like verbatim.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. And I don't know, man. Find some faith. Find something higher. Don't, dude. If the highest thing that you're fighting for in this life is a government narrative, or some media narrative that was pushed to you, and you focus your whole life around it, you are losing so bigly in the grand scheme of reality. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a higher order to that. There is, you know.
And it's
Find
not
it.
greatness for
Find it.
yourself.
No.
It's not personal greatness. It's not material wealth or success. It's like in the soul. It's in your being.
Yep.
Even if you can't, like I said earlier, I think it's about having kids and bringing them to God. Even if you can't have kids, just try to bring people to God. Bring yourself to God.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's most important. Follow God. It's rough out there. It's the only thing that can save you.
Yep. That is literally the only thing that can save you, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So, if you enjoyed, I'm not going to do the thing, but you better freaking do the thing, because I don't want
Find
to
us,
ask
follow
you.
us, subscribe.
Tommy couldn't keep
enjoy the
saying
content.
it. Stop saying it, Tommy.
No. It's not that hard to say.
It's
not
not
that
hard to say. We just can't be plugging ourselves. I don't want to have to plug ourselves. People should know by
Barely
now
plugging. It's
how
exhausting.
to support a broski. So support your broskies. We'd love to engage with you guys. So just leave some comments.
We're live now.
Hit us up. Yeah.
We're live. Like, you guys only know us live, but to us, we're live now.
Not streaming live now, but
Yeah, but live, like, you know,
Yeah.
consumable. We are consumable. Come consume.
I feel like I'm just gonna leave it there.
Consume. Give me.
No, I feel like we always have a good ending, and then we start rambling again. We
That's
set
fine,
ourselves up really nice, and then we start going again.
Whatever, dude.
But yeah, fucking consume.
Consume. And I love you, bitches.
Peace.
You say Christ is Lord.